Welcome to the RadioU Podcast. I'm Hudson.
And I'm Allie.
Coming up, an NHL conspiracy theory we actually kind of believe.
Also, why does the Hollywood Reporter hate American accents?
All that and more on the way next. We have some big changes coming to the college football playoff. We already knew the changes were going to be coming sooner or later, but the American Football Coaches Association has made their votes, which makes their opinion clear on what they believe should be the next move for the college football season and the college football playoff.
Okay.
I don't know if these votes are like binding or anything. Like, does this mean they have to change anything? But it seems understood that like with this vote, this is probably what's going to happen in college football going forward.
Okay.
The changes are the season would have to be over by the second Monday in January.
Wow.
So they would which this year it ended in the third week in January.
Yeah.
So move that up, which would also mean that to fit in everything else they want to fit in, conference championship games would be going away.
Get the axe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is fine. They're pretty unnecessary.
Yeah, at this point, unnecessary, and also just adds a wrinkle to especially the college football playoff that really doesn't need to be there, because there's all these asterisks now of like, well, they made it to the, championship game, so we can't bring them down even though they lost. And it's like, no, losses should count. So, but I also get the whole thing of like they have to play an extra game and other people don't have to play an extra game. So it just adds a wrinkle of chaos that doesn't need to be there.
There was just never any consistency with how it was scored. So by the committee. So get it out of there. The other rule is that the college football playoff could expand. So this is where it's like they aren't making the rules when these football coaches are voting, but they're basically saying what they're okay with. And that is up to 24 teams, expanding the playoff to up to 24 teams.
Which was the Big Ten's proposition.
Yeah, which is definitely too many.
That's so many teams.
But that doesn't mean that they're going to do that right away.
Yeah.
I'm sure it means they will do it eventually.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's going to be a slow, gradual process, because if you would have asked me, are we going to get to 12 teams, like 10 years ago, I probably would have said no shot, because we just got to 4. But maybe 10 years.
I thought 4 was the biggest lie. I was like, we're never staying with 4.
Well, I mean, it was wild to me as a college football fan that we even got a playoff. Mm-hmm. Like, it was awesome. And so the idea that we've expanded it to 12 teams now is crazy. But I love it. It's a good crazy, because I absolutely love all these games that we're getting. But yeah, I think 10 years from now, we definitely could see where it's like massive. Yeah.
I hope as they eliminate the conference championship games, there's no other talk of like changing the schedule more. It
looks like they might want to limit or completely eliminate bye weeks.
You can't bye weeks.
There's something here about bye weeks. Cut down bye weeks from 2 to 1, because apparently some teams have 2.
Yeah.
So just make sure you only have 1.
Are those the teams that play on like August 25th to start the season in Ireland or whatever?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, but they play like week 0 or something. But I know Ohio State did not start early last season, and they ended up having 2 bye weeks. Mm-hmm. It was really random.
I feel like that would make, if the less weeks the teams have off, I think 1 is enough. They don't even play as many games as the NFL does. There's way more players on a team.
Yeah.
So I feel like if you did cut down on bye weeks, that'd make things more exciting, because the more you have the top teams in action every week, you wouldn't get those dead weeks.
Exactly.
Where it feels like, we don't have any real good top 25 matchups. But I just hope it doesn't mean that they'll start messing around with like the Thanksgiving Day games.
Yeah.
Those still need to be the end of the regular season.
Yes, that still needs to be Michigan and Ohio State.
Yeah, you can't move that game.
Yep.
Don't start moving like the Egg Bowl and stuff like that. Like it's got to be that last week of the year.
Yeah, I agree.
Which is Thanksgiving.
I agree with that. Those type of things need to stay. Honestly, what this tells me, and I've maintained this position for a long, long time, we need a college football commissioner, somebody that's making decisions for the sport of college football as a whole, because it's really hard for us to all make decisions together when everybody's out there just for their own team or for their own conference. We need somebody that cares about the sport as a whole.
There is a college football commissioner. There's 2. It's Greg Sankey and Tony Petit. I've been trying something for the last 2 months, and I think everyone needs to try this.
Okay.
Everyone needs to try getting rid of your snooze button. Allie, you know I've been working on this.
Yes, you have.
And so this has been a project I've been working on, and it's changed my life. It actually hasn't. But I do, even though it's not like, oh, everything is different now, I think everybody should try turning off the snooze button.
Yeah.
Do not use a snooze button on your phone.
Yeah, pretend it doesn't exist.
Yeah, because I did, and it wasn't even like it was weird. It was like I just decided I'm setting my alarm for a different time in the morning, the time that I'm actually going to wake up.
Yep.
And it wasn't even like it was hard to do that the first day.
Yeah.
You don't even notice. And here's why. Here's why I think everybody should do it. Because if you're a snooze button person and you have a set time you have to be up for work or whatever it is, then if you're setting the alarm so that you can build in 10, 20, 30 minutes of snoozing, then you're really ending your sleep 10, 20, 30 minutes early.
Yeah.
You could be having, let's say you're snoozing 2 times, that's 20 minutes. You could be getting like 15 or 20 minutes more of better sleep.
Right.
And still be up at the same time.
Yep.
I don't understand why we snooze.
I know.
Let me clarify. I still snooze on the weekends.
Okay.
Because I don't necessarily have a set time both days where I have to.
I was going to say,
up.
you set an alarm on the weekend?
Yeah, I do. Because it's like, I'm going to wake up at this time. And I still get up early on the weekends. Not this early, but like early for even probably a normal person.
Yeah.
I get up on the weekends. But I set my alarm with much more ambition.
Sure.
And so then I wind up snoozing, but I don't have an end goal in mind.
Yeah.
Where during the week, it's like you have to be up by 4:25 or whatever it is, set the alarm for 4:20 and just wake up then. And then instead of setting it for 4:10 and getting 15 minutes of and not actually sleeping for those 15 minutes.
Yeah. I have never been a multiple alarm person. I've never been a snooze button person. I've always been the person to set the alarm one time and then wake up at that time, get ready at that time. I also like to give myself a little bit of extra minutes just to be in bed and like look something on my phone, maybe check the scores from last night on ESPN or something. And I do agree. I think it is much better. It's much less stressful because I've had those moments of like stressing out because I missed an alarm or something. So I feel like it's a lot less stressful to just wake up when you need to wake up.
That is the thing that I haven't run into yet of like what happens if you
miss
sleep
it
through the first alarm or if I accidentally snooze it, I'm just late. But what I did was...
Do you have a backup alarm?
I do. I always have a backup alarm because I'm like, what if my phone like accidentally doesn't charge or something?
Right. My phone almost didn't charge last night. When I woke up, it was on 3%.
Yeah.
I was like, uh-oh.
It feels like a miracle when you wake up like that.
Yeah, I was like, oh man, that could have been bad.
But I haven't had a time where I accidentally turned, because, okay, what happens is I accidentally turn off an alarm sometimes. Like in the morning, I'll hit the off instead of the snooze. So actually, this should probably avoid that.
Yeah.
But I set it a little earlier than my last ditch snooze was.
Okay.
But later than when my first alarm would go off, so that now I'm getting more sleep, but also getting
better
here
sleep
earlier or giving myself more time.
Sure.
So everybody should try this. I call it quiet waking up.
It's a new thing.
Yeah, it's a new thing. It's called quiet waking up. It's where you don't set a snooze button. You should definitely try it.
Thank you, Christopher Columbus.
Let us know. Does this sound therapeutic or dangerous? 8772 Radio U. It's a new open source tool called x.skill that's available on GitHub that aims to, or like you can find it through GitHub. It allows you to recreate your ex as a chatbot, basically.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
In the description, it says, every relationship teaches us something. Some people leave, but their words, their laughter, the way they got angry, all of it stays in your neural network. This skill just helps you migrate those memories from biological to digital neural networks, not to hold on, but to say a proper goodbye.
Oh, no, no, no. You know the people that are going to do this are not the people that are going to say goodbye.
Why?
Because this feels like the plot of a Black Mirror episode.
Go on.
Yeah.
Explain.
I feel like people who actually don't want to get over their ex. They're like obsessed with them. They could get like a restraining order or something, because they might have a little bit of stalker energy or something, and they didn't want to break up with this person. I'm worried that those are the type of people that would do this.
But what about the people? They almost make it sound like you would do this with not just like maybe an ex you go through a bad breakup, but somebody who died, particularly maybe unexpectedly, and you didn't really get to, say goodbye. Maybe they died a long time ago.
Yeah.
And like you're still dealing with it. And so I could see positive applications for this where it gives you some closure, whether it is from a death or it is from a relationship that ended badly and the person ghosted you or ran off with some other person and they, and now you just see them on Instagram and you're upset. And this could be a way of, maybe hashing things out without actually having to deal with them, because why would you want to do that?
I mean, that's fine, but I feel like that closure it's not real. It wasn't gained correctly. Does that make sense? So it's like, a lot of people need therapy sometimes if there is a death in the family, let's say that was unexpected. I don't know if your therapist would tell you, yeah, go ahead and sign up for this AI bot, recreate this person, and then say goodbye to them that way. I think that might actually be doing more damage than it is doing good.
Why?
Because it's recreating that feeling, that like dopamine rush or serotonin, whatever, of like talking to them again. And maybe you won't want to say goodbye.
That's definitely a possibility.
Yeah.
I feel like...
and again, it's a fake thing.
Yeah. If it's free, I feel like worst case scenario, it's like the people that go see like mediums or whatever.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I think that's pretty unhealthy too.
But a lot of those, all of those, I think you have to pay for them.
Yeah.
Which I'm like, how do I get into that? But,
like as a medium?
Yes. Yeah, I think I'd be good at it.
People's money?
Yes, I think I'd be good at taking people's money.
Oh, no.
Yeah, they're like, they wanted you to know they loved you.
That's terrible.
But best case scenarios, this helps people move on.
Yeah.
It's like you couldn't say goodbye to grandma. She really meant a lot to you. And this is finally like, hey, grandma, I hope you're proud of me. And she's like, yes, I am. And then you just move on.
Maybe. I think we need to learn how to cope with grief and cope with loss and all of those things in the real world and not using AI. But I get what you're saying.
I think it's, what was I going to say? I think this, therapy is expensive. That's what I was going to say. This is free.
Yeah.
So
free with
maybe
AI.
at least you could test it out first is an idea.
See how it goes.
Yeah. Especially if your insurance won't cover it.
I also don't like the idea of a Neuralink. What does that even mean?
A major change could be coming to online shopping. If GameStop has anything to say about it, 8772 Radio U. GameStop made an unsolicited $56 billion offer to buy eBay.
Oh.
They made a bid.
That is a bid.
To purchase and acquire eBay. Their CEO told the Wall Street Journal that if they were able to join forces, if GameStop was able to take over eBay, he says... the two companies could be a legit competitor to Amazon.
Wow.
Do you actually believe that?
No, not at all. It would take a lot of work to get in to be a direct competitor with Amazon. Mm-hmm. Amazon is so huge, has so many different vendors and different things. Like you can find literally anything you want on Amazon. So it would take some time, but maybe not impossible.
Well, let's hear CEO of GameStop, Ryan Cohen. Let's hear him out. He says eBay should be worth and will be worth a lot more money. I'm thinking about turning eBay into something worth hundreds of billions of dollars.
Wow.
I'm thinking about turning RadioU into something worth hundreds of billions of dollars too.
So maybe we should buy eBay?
Yeah, we just need hundreds of billions of dollars. Basically, he says the proposal, it's a cost-cutting plan for eBay where the company could slash $2 billion in annual costs within the first 12 months by reducing spending on marketing, product development, and corporate overhead. And the overlap between the two companies would definitely work as far as like collectibles, video games, trading cards, and then talking about using GameStop's 1,600 U.S. stores as a network of authentication and fulfillment sites.
Okay.
So kind of like mini Amazon warehouses, I guess, for like people would, I guess it would give you the option if you're like an eBay mega seller, you have something kind of important. Like you could have a location to actually bring it to, like in 40-year-old version.
Ah.
Yeah. You've never seen that,
I haven't. Sorry. I know it's Steve Carell, but I haven't seen it. Yeah.
There's a store in that movie called We Sell Your Stuff on eBay, and they don't sell anything in the store. They just take your stuff and sell it on eBay.
They just take your stuff and sell it on eBay? Do they give you a cut of it? Like, is that how that works? Or they just pay you ahead of time?
I buy it off of you. Yeah.
So like Plato's Closet.
I don't know if they play it out that much. But it's ambitious. It's definitely ambitious here from GameStop.
Yeah, I have a lot of ambition. Also, this article is making me laugh a lot because you remember when GameStop did the whole thing of like, well, the GameStop was big in the news when they were trying, like the stock thing was happening.
Yeah.
And that was definitely during like right after COVID. So like the image here from this article, like the people in the image have masks on. It's like you couldn't even go out and get a new picture of GameStop with people without masks on. Like,
I think people just always do that when they go to GameStop.
They
don't want to be seen there.
I don't want anyone to know I'm walking to GameStop.
Yeah. I feel like you actually have to give GameStop credit.
Yeah.
Because they've managed to stay around.
They've managed to pivot in a world where retail is failing.
Yeah, where most GameStops were in malls. Not all, but most. I mean, I guess if you can't strip malls, then basically all of them were in malls.
Yeah.
And they're still around. They're still around even though and people don't need physical games as much anymore. It's all of it like you just buy it on the Game Pass store or whatever.
Right.
So
if you go into a GameStop now, it's almost all collectibles.
Yep.
It's almost all board games.
Is it? I haven't been inside in probably 8 years.
I went into a GameStop for the first time in a long, long time, years, and it was like almost all of what are those things? The Funko
Pops. Yeah. Okay, that's what it was like the last time I went, and I was like, this is really changed.
Yeah, it has.
Yeah, and not in a necessarily good way.
No, I mean when I was a kid, I used to love to look through all the little games.
Yeah, and I feel like the Funko Pops have fallen off way a bunch too.
Yeah,
so.
That's not helping GameStop. That's why they have to pivot more.
They have to pivot. They have to pivot to taking over eBay. Stop me if this sounds familiar. Chipotle CEO says if you want more food at Chick-fil-A or Chipotle, you should just ask for it.
Okay.
8772 Radio U or the talkback button in the RadioU app. This is not the first time. This is not the first Chipotle CEO that has had to make these exact same comments.
Okay.
Where he's like, if you go to Chipotle and you don't think that they gave you enough beans or whatever it is,
steak,
just ask for more.
Ask for more.
Yeah.
And it's just going to be given to you for free?
That's what he says. He says that this is Chipotle CEO Scott Boatwright. He said that part of Chipotle's brand is a customer should never leave feeling shortchanged, and employees are expected to honor requests for extra toppings.
For free.
So
no additional cost.
Said the actual quote is, you should ask for a little more.
Just ask for a little more.
Just ask for a little more.
How about you just tell your employees, Scott Boatwright, that they should be putting a little more in the bowl? How about that? Or in the burrito?
But a lot of people are like you and I and either order online, which is the biggest problem, or are too timid, are too shy.
Yeah, they're too timid.
Yeah.
Which, again, means tell the employee to fill the bowl with more food.
But they can get away with it.
I don't think that they should be getting away with it, is what I mean. I think the employee should have a standard.
Mm-hmm. This
is how you should fill the bowl. Don't shortchange the customer so that they feel the need to ask for more.
I think him saying this and Chipotle CEOs repeatedly saying this it's just setting us up for problems.
Okay.
Because like you said, either you feel shortchanged, you're like, that's not enough lettuce, which nobody's ever said.
No. The lettuce is always way more than they should put in.
That's not enough rice.
Yeah.
That's not enough beans.
Yeah.
And so
sour cream.
Then you're like, can I get a little more? And they're like, oh, you want a double scoop? And it's like, no, I want more. And they're like,
I just want more.
Okay, I'm charging you for a double scoop.
No,
yeah.
I don't want to pay more.
Either you get that, or maybe they don't charge you extra.
Okay.
But the employee hates you.
Oh.
So you're getting more, but at what cost? You know what I mean? You may have gained 10 beans.
But now the employee thinks you're difficult?
But what have you lost? Yeah, the respect of a 16-year-old at Chipotle.
Yeah, you may run into them again at another Chipotle.
And the next time they see you coming, you think they're going to give you more? They're going to know that it's like, hey, this is the guy that wants more beans, so we put more beans.
They're not going to remember me.
If they do remember you, it's not going to be in a positive light. They're going to be like, this is the guy that's annoying.
This is the dummy that asks for more.
And so I'm going to spit in his beans is what I'm going to do.
No, it's right in front of you. So you should be able to see if they're going to do something unhinged like that.
Yeah, I guess so. That is the benefit.
Yeah.
But this is the trouble with Chipotle. They don't have to serve us everything in front of our faces. They could just do it all secretly, and like every other restaurant does, and there'd probably be way less actual conflict.
Yeah, but I think that's definitely why the accusations are out there for sure. It's because you're seeing it and you're like, you're not giving me the same amount as last time.
Chipotle is the only place that actually has hacks because you think you can hack an employee.
Yes, right.
Nobody goes to Chick-fil-A and they're like, here's how you get a couple extra nuggets.
Yeah.
Because they don't put the nuggets in front of you. They just give it to you.
Yeah.
At Chipotle, it's like...
And you have a count. You know it's going to be 8. You know it's going to be 4, whatever. And for Chipotle, I feel like they just leave it up to the employee to decide how much rice and how much beans.
But that's not their fault that like you can't count the individual slices of steak.
I just mean like a scoop or whatever.
Yeah.
Like a scoop is different for each employee, it seems.
The scoops are the same size, but how they use them is different.
It seems to be different. There's
I think that's part of the beauty of Chipotle.
That there's no standard.
It is a standard. It's just if you scooped something at home, you wouldn't always scoop it the same way.
Well, I mean, there's some measurements.
Especially if you're doing it hundreds of times a day.
Yeah.
Some of them will be a little off.
I think it's because they can't keep up with the demand, and so they start shorting.
I've got a potential dream job for a big soccer fan. 877-2-RADIO-U or the TalkBack button in the RadioU app. Although I definitely feel like the type of person that gets this job is probably the type of person that calls it football.
Oh.
It's Chief World Cup Watcher. And it pays $50,000.
Wow.
Hello.
Okay.
That could buy like 10 gallons of gas. The person who gets chosen to be the Chief World Cup Watcher must watch all 104 World Cup matches live over the 39-day tournament. I don't know how that's possible because I definitely know that typically in the World Cup, on the last group day,
all the games are at the same time.
The games are simultaneously so that they can't be like, oh, this game doesn't matter, or we're going to lose intentionally to keep that other team out or whatever.
Right. Must be multiple screens available.
But if they're paying you $50,000, you got to make some things happen. Go to Buffalo Wild Wings or something.
Here's the caveat, Hudson, because I was like, ooh, maybe I should apply for this.
Yeah.
No, you have to watch all the games in a glass box in Times Square.
Whoa.
$50,000 is not enough for me to do that.
Why
sorry.
not?
In a glass box in Times Square? Like, that's very invasive, in my opinion.
Nobody's gonna.
You're gonna be
attention.
you're gonna be like on display.
There's a naked cowboy there.
Yeah, I'm not.
So you think somebody's gonna pay attention? The tourists are gonna pay attention to me sitting and watching soccer?
I think that's the point. Yep.
I don't think they're gonna care. They're gonna move on. They're gonna be like, oh, bagels.
I have no desire to be the naked cowboy and no desire to be this Chief World Cup watcher. If you're required to live in a glass box and watch them in Times Square,
will be paying attention to you. I promise. They'll walk by. There will be people. They just will not care. Just don't pick your nose, and nobody's gonna notice what you're doing.
No, I couldn't do this. I definitely could not. At first, I was thinking about it. I was like, oh yeah, I watched the World Cup. You know?
Yeah.
No way am I doing that. I would need like $1 million on the line for this.
I actually think. I honestly do not care about the Times Square thing. That'd be totally fine. But I think watching 104 soccer games would drive you insane.
Okay.
Because watching soccer games once every 4, sometimes 2 years, I'll watch like the Euros or whatever, drives me insane. Because I'm like, why do we play this whole game to just go to a shootout? Why don't we just start with a shootout?
Yeah.
Why did you waste 120 minutes of my time?
Well, in the first rounds, you're not going to get shootout.
I know. So but those games don't matter.
I mean, they do. It determines who makes it to the knockout.
But now, like, everybody makes it to the knockout. So really true. I mean, like, they're eliminating like 16 out of, like, they're eliminating a tenth of, it's more than that, but
yeah.
It's just like those games are all going to end in draws too.
Yeah,
you're just not even going to get the thrill of a shootout.
The knockouts are bigger than ever, but yeah, I mean, I understand what you're saying, but my biggest thing is, I mean, I wouldn't want people watching me while I'm watching soccer.
I really feel like you're thinking too much about it.
Oh, no way. The Times Square is full of people.
I know, and there's so
much
all
around you the whole time.
There are 20 strangers doing something crazier than you sitting in a glass box watching soccer at any given time.
There's no shot.
It could be at 3 a.m. There'd be something more interesting than you.
People are used to going to New York City and seeing the naked cowboy. They're not used to seeing somebody watch soccer in a glass box.
They're not used to it. That's why they go. Because it's like, this is where the only place you can see a naked cowboy.
Expect naked cowboy. We've already heard about him.
18
Have you
people
heard about
dressed
the guy in the glass box watching soccer? You haven't heard about this. This is new.
It's just not interesting. I just don't think anybody's going to care.
You're wrong. This box is going to be surrounded by people all the time. And I would not.
They're gonna. You know what they're going to be doing?
Well.
They're going to be watching the soccer game, not even you.
No, they'll be watching you.
They're not even going to notice you.
Yes, they will.
We can send you.
That's the point of this.
If you want to apply, we can send you the links. Text soccer to 8772 RadioU. Mrs. Hudson texted in while we were doing the show.
Okay.
And she said, I can't find my keys.
Oh, no.
And what's funny to me, this happens every once in a while. She'll do this to me, is that like, because she'll get up and then she has to go somewhere. And then whether it's her keys or something else, she'll text me and I'm here. So I always think every time when she texts me at first, I go, what can I do about this? What can I do about it?
Aww.
But you know what happened yesterday, and actually what does wind up happening a lot of the times?
Is you remember where they are?
It's not even that I know.
Okay.
So yesterday, she had lost her keys, or I don't know if this is necessarily her, but like they're in this bowl that we usually put them, and they weren't in there. And so she was like, I can't find my keys. And I texted back and I was like, I haven't seen them if they're not in the thing. But then I was like, but maybe they fell behind the thing down below, like on the ground, and you can't see them. Guess where they were?
That's where they were?
Right there.
Nice.
I didn't know they were there.
Yeah. But
I think, and this is why, like, it actually does make sense. Maybe if you lose your keys, you text somebody that, you know, has been to your house. Maybe they would know. An example, and this happens to me too. I just wake up at 4 a.m. and she's not awake yet. So it has to be really bad for me to wake her up.
Right.
But it's not that I know where the keys are.
Yeah.
It's just I'm not in the situation. So I'm removed from it. So I can think a little clearly because I'm not like, oh no, I'm going to be late for the thing.
Right.
And we need this in our lives sometimes. Like, this is why we do love them or leave them and fired or hired and stuff like that, is because when you are in a situation, you know your side of it, you know, you have like the emotion going on, and sometimes there's a panic because there's a deadline on it, and that can lead to some bad decision making.
Yeah.
Or just not thinking clearly.
Right.
You get somebody else on the outside involved, it makes it sometimes much easier, much clearer. They can think with a clearer head.
Yeah.
And that is what God can do for you too, because not only is God outside of the situation of being like, he's not emotionally involved, he's not panicking like you are, but God actually does know where your keys are. You know what I mean? Like, he actually does. Not only is he able to think more clear than you, but he actually knows what the answer is every time.
Yeah, it's like a POV switch, you know, like a perspective, a point of view, whatever you want to call it, because, you know, you in that situation for your wife, you are like a third party. You're like a third point of view. So you're removed from the situation. You can think about it a little differently and view it with different eyes. And that's how God is, but he's the ultimate POV because, like you said, not only is he removed from the situation, but he knows where the keys are. And so he has the answer that you're looking for. Maybe it's lost keys. Maybe it's I need to find a new job, or I need a different change in my life for something else.
Yeah.
You know, God has the answers for these things.
You're like, I need a new job. I've looked all over, but have you looked here?
Right.
No, you didn't. You thought you looked all over, but that's because you're panicking. And it seems like you did. You know, this is what God wants to provide for you, is a different way of seeing things, and somebody you can rely on when you're freaking out, you're panicking, or you're unsure, and you need somebody else that has much more wisdom than you to deal with it.
Yeah.
God is there to do that. Ask for it. Say, hey, God, I need that right now. I need that today. Maybe I don't need it necessarily today, but I know I'm going to need it sometime. I want to know you're there, and let him talk to you and see what happens. If you want to know more, RadioU.com/free gift. Share your thoughts for today's Would You Rather Wednesday at 8772-RADIO-U or use the talkback button in the RadioU app. Mother's Day is coming up, so we've got a mom-themed Would You Rather. Would you rather have your mom join you on a first date?
Ooh.
Or your mom join you for a college class?
Ah.
And try to, make this a fair thing. Don't be like, well, I'm already married, so I guess college class or first.
Pretend like you were going on your very first date with somebody new. You've never met them before, let's say, and then pretend like you're a freshman in college.
This is put yourself in the shoes of your mom is alive and she is.
What? Oh.
I'm just saying,
Okay.
That's how you play the game.
Yes. Okay.
I don't like how we always have to explain the rules of Would You Rather, but I do feel like we often do.
Sure.
Allie, do you know which one you're picking?
I think I would pick the college class.
Okay. Why?
Because I think I would have so much fun with my mom in a college class. I don't think I'd have fun with my mom on a first date.
It worked out okay in an extremely goofy movie. Your parents at college. 8772-RADIO-U or use the talkback button in the RadioU app to let us know. Would you rather have your mom join you for a first date or your mom join you for a college class? RadioU, where music is going. We are doing Would You Rather Wednesday. Your question of the day is, would you rather have your mom accompany you on a first date or to a college class? 8772-RADIO-U or the talkback button in the RadioU app.
Yes, we heard from Dee first. She says, my mom was an educator. When I started elementary school, she was the assistant superintendent for all the elementary schools. Won't be the first time she's been in my class. Bonus, she will take better notes than I would.
There you go. That's a nice way to look at it.
Yes.
Susanna said, college class, no doubt. I don't understand why anyone wouldn't choose that one.
We heard from Jordan, said college class, and it's not close. My mom can watch me watch the professor. She doesn't need to watch me be awkward trying to impress the ladies.
We may have made it too easy, but Jesse did pick first date.
Oh?
Jesse says, I'll say first date. At least you get to the meet the parent part out of the way.
That's true. If they stick around after that first date, you know they might be the one.
If you're trying to make the argument, which I will in a second maybe.
Okay. We had also heard from Regina. She said college class hands down. First date has many more opportunities for it to become very awkward.
Okay. I'm trying to come up with an argument for mom on the first date.
Okay.
I think for a guy that you can't do it. So for me, I can't. That's not going to play well with any probably woman you go on a date with.
Yeah, that's true.
I think for a gal, there's a situation, and this sounds like a movie, where it could be endearing, where the mom's really fun too. And so the guy's and it takes some of the pressure off of, the girl you're actually going on a date with. And so it kind of makes it fun. And it's you already feel like a part of the family as the guy. And so I could see that actually turning out okay.
What would you thought if you, on your very first date with Mrs. Hudson, she brought her mom? What would you think?
It's hard to say, right? We didn't go on that many dates before I did meet her mom.
Okay.
So, it was kind of early on, but obviously that's hard to say. Yeah. I'm just saying, if I could see where it wouldn't necessarily be a disaster. It depends on the mom and it depends on the guy you're dating.
Yeah, definitely.
The other argument might be, you go on plenty of first dates, some work out, some don't.
Sure.
I didn't go on a million, but I went on some first dates and there was no second date and that's fine.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the date that your mom goes on. But the college class, those are kind of important. So I don't know why you would assume your mom's going to mess it up for you. But if you're concerned about what might, mess up you more for the future.
Yeah.
It could be if she does something that, I don't know, that screws up your college
experience. She's crazy or something?
Yeah. I don't know. If she's goofy in an extremely goofy movie.
Yeah, I guess it could go wrong either way, but yeah, I think I'm gonna stick with the college class on this one. We might have made it a little too easy.
Maybe a little too easy. But, I don't know. It does seem like a movie that should be made.
Yes, with the mom on the first date.
Yep, she has to come along, and there's a whole romantic comedy there. For sure.
Yeah.
New trailer for The Odyssey dropped yesterday. Did you watch it, Allie?
I haven't yet.
I haven't watched it either. And obviously, I know how the Odyssey goes, but I also don't want the movie version to be spoiled for me.
Sure.
I saw the first trailer. That was enough. Obviously, I'm in. I'm going to go see the Odyssey. It looks awesome.
I'm obviously in as well.
Christopher Nolan. But after this trailer dropped, there has been some discussion pointed out by The Hollywood Reporter. They say that everybody in the trailer sounds like they're from Ohio.
They said that?
They said, dude, everybody sounds like they're from Ohio.
No way they said that.
That's the quote from this Hollywood Reporter story by James Hibbard. Some of it is him relaying what people are saying on like Reddit or whatever, but also some of it is his opinion.
Okay.
And like he also said, he's using Ohio generally, not like they literally sound like Ohio accents.
Yeah.
But he's saying...
just like the general American accent.
The characters sound American and use contemporary sounding language, more Ithaca, New York than Ithaca, Greece.
Great use of Ithaca right there.
Yeah. Is this... What are you expecting? I don't even know the argument if he's making of what should be different about it, I guess.
Yeah, I have no problem with this at all. I get that there are some movies where you want it to be like hyper realistic to the location and to the accents. But I'm sorry, Matt Damon is in this.
Yeah.
And I do not think Matt Damon can do a good accent. Have you heard Matt Damon do accents before?
Yes.
It's not great.
Not good.
It's not great.
Well, you could argue he's always doing an accent if he's not talking in a Boston accent, I guess.
Yeah. So I don't think he's obviously talking in a super Boston accent in this, but I don't think there's a need for him to like put on a fake British accent or something to make it sound like more... I don't even know. That wouldn't even be more real because the Brits didn't even exist then.
Well, they point out that in this, like some of the comments on Reddit and stuff on the trailer, and then in this article, that the British accent is traditionally considered universally pleasing and just foreign enough to convey a timeless quality, even though it's only about 250 years old. But that's historically in movies, but and TV and whatever. But just because that's how it's been doesn't mean it's how it has to be.
Right.
And
if you wanted it to be truly accurate, then they would have to have like ancient Greece accents, basically.
Except the Odyssey itself is fiction, so it couldn't be truly accurate to anything. There's nothing for it to be accurate to.
Right.
Now, the guy that wrote this article for The Hollywood Reporter also points out, though, Christopher Nolan himself is British. So having the whole movie be in a British accent probably wouldn't feel as different and timeless and, historical to him as it would to an American audience. Granted, he's making it for primarily, but not exclusively, an American audience. I love that one of the examples is even fantasy shows set in other worlds like Game of Thrones use British accents. That doesn't mean anything.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't mean a thing. And also, the reason why they use British accents in Game of Thrones is because literally George R.R. Martin says like a lot of it is inspired by English history.
Right. This isn't inspired by England in any way or form whatsoever.
No, not at all. And actually, I get upset when I watch old movies that are supposed to be like, let's say, a biblical tale. And it's like they have British accents for some reason. That actually makes me angry because that truly makes no sense. They would not have even heard a British accent in the day of Moses. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, I think if the criticism is going to be it's written to sound too modern, then that's something that we can, the language, the accents don't need to feel timeless.
Yeah.
The language of it should feel historical or timeless. The one example is that in the trailer, Matt Damon's Odysseus leads a battle charge by crying, "Let's go." But,
that's a little...
but that's not, because that's not even, like, the modern way of using it would be like after you won, you would go, "Let's go."
Yeah.
Not going into battle. You could still say, "Let's go."
Sure.
Historically, why wouldn't you? Let's go over there. Let's go beat them.
Yeah.
Not after. So I don't even think that's a problem.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. It doesn't need to be that big of a deal, guys.
I'm telling you, we're going to go see this movie and it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, it's a movie.
You're being so nitpicky about it.
Right. They're very nitpicky.
And I say this particularly, it's not a documentary.
No.
It's a movie. Allie, I think there's definitely a chance that the NHL rigged their draft lottery.
Oh, really?
8772 Radio U. Talkback button in the Radio U app. Last night was the NHL Draft Lottery. The Toronto Maple Leafs got the number 1 pick.
Ooh.
Doesn't that seem a little suspicious to anybody else?
It's a little bit like, they probably don't need it.
Or do they? The Maple Leafs, let's not beat around the bush. They are in dire straits. They're a team that doesn't have a lot going for them right now. But if you ask the average American to name a hockey team, what do you think the first team they name is?
Maybe the Maple Leafs. I also think they would name the Lightning or the Blackhawks if they're in America, because I think the Blackhawks, when they went on their big run, that's a team people remember.
The Blackhawks, who just had the number 1 pick recently.
Yeah.
You can't give it to them again.
No.
And they're already gonna, they'll turn it around.
Yeah.
So now you need to set up a rivalry. America versus Canada, good versus evil.
Okay.
And you need the biggest team in Canada to not be irrelevant. The biggest team right now, the Maple Leafs, they're the most popular or like the most talked about team in Canada. And they have a big star on the team, Austin Matthews.
Yeah.
But he's threatening to leave.
Yeah.
And they don't really have a lot going for them where they can keep him. He said unless they make some meaningful roster improvements. What might be a meaningful roster improvement?
So you're thinking the NHL.
Gavin McKenna.
Setting up Toronto to be very competitive.
Yes, a Canadian star joining Austin Matthews on Canada's biggest team.
So did Gavin McKenna get all this Penn State weird stuff figured out? He's good now?
He's going to be fine.
Okay, good.
Yeah. So now we have a situation where the NHL is trying to set up the Toronto Maple Leafs to be like the beast of the East, to save them from irrelevancy, and then set them up to play these big teams in the West, which are most of the teams in the West that are good are American, except for the Oilers.
Well, like we've said, Canada has not won the Stanley Cup in years.
Yes.
So
Canada needs some hope because the Oilers' hope is starting to fade.
Yes, the Oilers are definitely. I mean, they got ousted in the first round this year.
Yeah.
So I would say maybe there's some substance to this theory.
I think it just seems a little suspicious. It wasn't like the Maple Leafs had the best odds in the draft.
No, I definitely thought a different team would get the.
I think they had the 5th best odds. And if they didn't get this pick, Austin Matthews very possibly gone, and the Leafs have to go through a full. They have to go through a Buffalo Sabres rebuild. They might not be in the playoffs for 15 years, but now they get Gavin McKenna and Austin Matthews stays, and all of a sudden the Leafs are the beast of the East.
Yeah.
And they're going up against the Avalanche and the Dallas Stars every year, and Connor Bedard and the Blackhawks, and it's U.S. versus Canada. What's more Canadian than the Maple Leafs getting to the Stanley Cup Finals?
Yeah, that would be crazy if they did.
They're trying to recreate the magic of the Olympics.
Yeah.
By fixing the lottery. I think it's suspicious.
I think you might be onto something.
And you're saying, but there was other Canadian teams in the top. Yeah, but they're the Canucks.
Yeah.
The Canucks have even less hope than the Maple Leafs right now.
Right.
And nobody cares about them.
Toronto's the biggest city. They're the biggest city, and
they're almost an American city. It's right nearby.
It feels like that, certainly with even the Blue Jays and stuff.
That's what I was going to say. And what did we just see in Major League Baseball? Canada versus United States, Toronto versus Los Angeles.
Yeah.
And it got numbers. It did numbers.
Yeah.
So Canada being good, especially in hockey, would be a huge thing.
Sure.
So I think there could be, we need to have an investigation. Because
we just let it slide. We just let it slide and let it happen.
If we're okay with the outcome.
If the results are good, why argue with the means of how we got there? Thanks for listening to the RadioU Podcast. Don't forget to rate and review the show.